All team, give it everything you got.
It's time to fangirl flail with Fangirls Going Rogue.
Count me in. I don't think there's anything more important in the Star Wars universe than the fans.
News, discussion, and commentary from the female point of view.
You call this a diplomatic solution?
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
With your hosts, Teresa Delgado, Trisha Barr, and Sarah Woloski.
Boy, am I glad to hear your voice.
Strap in, because this is where the fun begins.
I like the sound of that.
Welcome, Yub-Cubbers, to episode 64 of Fangirls Going Rogue. I am Sarah Woloski from Skywalking Through Neverland, and with me I have Trisha Barr from Fangirl Blog. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, I'm excited, and I think we want to wish everyone a happy holiday, whatever that is for them. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Solstice Day, Happy Bodhi Day, or Happy Kwanzaa.
Okay. What's Happy Bodhi Day?
Bodhi Day is, I looked all these up, and now I feel like I'm not informed enough, but I believe it's Buddhist.
Oh, okay, because my mind goes to Bodhi Rook from Rogue One.
I thought of that too when I saw it. So
okay, but it's an actual holiday.
Yeah, there's like so many different types of holidays at the end of the year, just people wrapping it up and getting ready for the new year. And it's kind of one place that it seems like the world is united, that this is the time of year to celebrate. And, usually it's cold for people. I'm in Florida, so my cold is 60 degrees.
Right.
So what's your cold in LA?
Like 50 degrees. So yeah, we're not very cold here. But my parents currently right now are in Wisconsin, and I guess they're having a heat wave at 40 degrees. So, it's all relative, right?
So do you guys have a fireplace in your house?
Oh, yeah, we do have a fireplace, and it does get down at night. Like I said, 60s, 50s. And so we'll have the fire going in the evening right next to our Christmas tree. And it's so lovely now. And I love to sit there with the lights on and the fire going and our Christmas decorations and watch some fun holiday movies.
Well, in Florida, the fireplace is decoration typically. So
do you put like candles in it?
No, I had one fireplace in the first apartment I lived in 25 years ago, and they just don't build them in places anymore because they're not useful. So maybe if you commission a house and you are from up north, which a lot of people in Florida come from up north, and you want a fireplace, you might have one, but you're really never going to use it. But for the purpose of this episode, we're going to pretend like we're having a fireside chat and that it's really chilly and everybody's curled up in their blankets and we're sipping, I don't know, what's Star Wars chocolate, and just talking about the holidays and the end of the year and maybe some of our traditions and mix it up with some Star Wars.
Yeah. And many of you may be wondering why our co-host Teresa is not here. And unfortunately, she was going to be here and all excited to talk. And we do have some notes from her that we'll be sharing today. But unfortunately, her grandmother passed away this morning, actually. So she is currently with family right now, and we wish her prayers and love, and we hope she's doing well.
Yes, we love you, and it's really hard, but this is part of the being a podcast buddies is we have to pick up and go on and spread the cheer and think about her in spirit. It was kind of weird because we were like, who's going to do the intro?
I know. She always does our intro so well.
So it's always weird. It's occasionally that we don't get to all be together. And this is one of those days. So anyway, everybody just think real positive thoughts. I know it's hard for people on the holidays, especially when you're without somebody that you love and it's been part of your life. Another person who isn't here with us, that's always with us as spirit, is Sandra, who does our social media. And she put out a tweet and we just have to talk about it because, sometimes people respond to your tweets and you're not expecting maybe that type of response. So she asked on behalf of Fangirls Going Rogue, okay, you have my attention. Are we watching these Star Wars films by release date or following the timeline? Signed, Sandra. And then, she puts in our DMs for our little Facebook Messenger group that Daniel Logan, Boba Fett, answered back. Oh my gosh, how exciting was that? So what did he say, Sarah?
Okay, so he quoted the tweet and said, how about watch Star Wars in order of your favorite actor in the film? Then obviously you would start with episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And obviously we would, right, Trisha?
Obviously. I would start with Attack of the Clones. As a matter of fact, I've been doing a series of features for Star Wars Insider, and I'm doing them each month. There'll be an episode, and I just wrote my Attack of the Clones feature for the magazine. So looking back on it, I was like, I can appreciate it more because it almost feels like George Lucas was looking into the future and seeing things that might reflect in our real life. The romance is kind of awkward, but hey, a lot of people still loved Anakin and Padme when it was all over. And we got Daniel Logan, who went on to star in the Clone Wars. And I think is one of my favorite Star Wars people to meet, from Star Wars weekends, getting to meet him and talk to him over the years, different times. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. And it was almost a year ago today, or a little over a year ago, that I got to be with him for 3 days in the Star Wars Nissan event that Trisha, you had let me do, basically. It was through your blog. So,
that's right. Was it you and Jonah Marie?
Mm-hmm. Jonah Marie Macias. And I Jonah Marie from Wiki Gunner. And I and Daniel Logan all got to be in one car together and go on basically this awesome Star Wars scavenger hunt all around Hollywood and Glendale and Burbank and downtown LA.
Ooh, those were good times. I wish I could have gone to that and I could have been in the car with you guys.
I know.
I lived vicariously.
It's true. Well, what's funny because most of the groups were 2 people, but we were 3 because Jonna Marie, she's from New York and she takes subways or walks everywhere and she doesn't drive.
I know it can be just a totally different world for people.
Yeah.
I couldn't go anywhere. My last truck had 285,000 miles on it.
Holy buckets. Oh my God.
And that's the third one that I've had with over 200,000 miles. So, it's just so different depending on how, where you live and how you have to get around.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to do a lot of Star Wars news today, but there was one big piece of news, and I thought of you, Sarah, when it got announced.
Yes. So The Mandalorian, we're hearing a lot of information on this new series that's going to be on Disney Plus, and we got to hear who the composer was today. So it's going to be Ludwig Göransson, and he is the composer for the Black Panther. And I love the title here. It says, "The Black Panther composer comes to a galaxy far, far away for Lucasfilm's upcoming live-action series." So now, Trisha, you know a little bit more about Ludwig than I do.
Yeah, he's earned Golden Globe Award nominations and Grammy nominations. So he's definitely one of the up-and-coming composers. And if you've seen Creed or Creed 2, Venom, or Fruitvale Station, you will be familiar with his work. You might not be familiar with his name because, not everybody's John Williams, but they're all aspiring to get there. And he's also worked in television on Community and New Girl. So there's an interesting connection. He had worked with Ryan Coogler, who's the director of Black Panther, on all of his films. And they were friends at USC in film school. And they ended up kind of joining together. And as Ryan Coogler has built his career, Ludwig has gone along with him. And also on Community, you might remember Donald Glover from that show. And so that friendship, they started working together. And so he's worked on the Childish Gambino soundtracks. or music, sorry,
Album.
that he's albums, all the things that, I mean, these people are so talented. But anyway, so he has multiple connections to Star Wars, and obviously he's now been able to work with Disney. And I had looked him up when Black Panther came out because I loved the music in Black Panther, and he really kind of dove in to kind of connect with African music and brought in musicians. And I listened to him. There's a video of him discussing actually learning from artists, local artists, and bringing them in to use them to really get that different sound. Their instruments are different. They're made with different material. The wood is different. So everything's, they have their own unique sound, and he really incorporated that. So I'm excited because, that was really stretching, I think, to stretch in a different kind of sound. And so he could probably do anything with the Mandalorian. So I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, and it looks like he himself is very excited to work on Star Wars. He says in this article, words fail to express how surreal and humbling it feels to be invited into the Star Wars universe. So once again, we have someone who loves Star Wars who's working on Star Wars, which of course is just a recipe for success.
And apparently, it won't be here soon enough, but maybe we'll hear the music and I don't know, maybe we'll get in Celebration, we'll get hints of all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be so much fun. Yay.
It's not that far away.
No. Oh my God. Like everything stops for Christmas and the holidays, but then come January, I think it's just going to be like a mad dash to Celebration.
I know. I don't know, because once February hits, y'all, I'm turning 50. So I might not be able to keep up. I've heard.
Oh, come on.
And you guys will need a wheelchair and have to roll me around. I don't know. So Celebration may not be the same. No, I'm working out harder and doing stronger. And my goal is for Celebration to be 50 in the best shape I'm in. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's kind of my goal for 40. Okay. But before Celebration, we have to have our lovely fireside chat. So picture it. We've got our nice fire. It's all snowy outside, maybe? Can we picture that? In our 50 and 60 degrees?
We have pollen. I'll pretend that the pollen on the ground is snow, dusting.
Okay, there you go. And so I have some hot cocoa with some peppermint candy in here. What do you have?
I have hot chocolate. That's my drink. And then sometimes I'll have tea, and it is in my porg mug. Have you seen that porg mug?
The one that looks like a porg?
Yeah, and he has the little sad face. I'm making it right now. Yeah, it's like the saddest thing, and you're sipping out of him. He's like, I'm so sad you're drinking out of my head.
I had to have my Mary Poppins mug this morning because today is when Mary Poppins Returns comes out. So that's the mug I'm using.
Oh my gosh, did you like it?
Okay. Well, we can go here. So I have a review up on adventuresbydaddy.com. And I say that because I had a lot to say about this film, because the original Mary Poppins, 1964, is one of my all-time favorite movies. And so when something is that nostalgic and that, ingrained in your head, it's really hard for the second movie to measure up. I have seen Mary Poppins Returns twice, and there's good things and bad things. And I'll just sum it up quickly by saying that Mary Poppins Returns is very much a love letter to the original. Both the people who made it, Rob Marshall, the director, he really wanted to infuse this new movie with a lot of the old. So beat for beat, you have songs that match up. And because of that, this movie is slow. I mean, this was 1960s and now you're 2018 with this YouTube generation. So it's a bit slow. There's songs that could be cut out, and overall it is lovely to watch, and it's a beautiful film. And the lyrics are very good. If you really listen to the lyrics, they're simple, yet they have a deep meaning. But the music for me doesn't really quite measure up. Sherman Brothers are just, their melodies are so catchy. And Mark Shaman, who's the composer, he did a really good job on the score, but the musical numbers themselves, I feel like they could have used more melodies like the Sherman Brothers compose, or even Alan Menken. I feel like Alan Menken would have written a little bit better melodies. So anyway, but once again, it's hard. They really had an impossible task. I mean, Mary Poppins is Walt's masterpiece. It's considered by many. It was nominated for 13 Academy Awards. It won 5 of them. And nothing is quite going to measure up. So it's hard for me to really judge just because that movie is so ingrained. But
it's hard too, because when you see a movie as a child,
yes,
you have a totally different experience than when all these things, obviously you know more about music, more about storytelling, and it becomes harder. I remember the first time I saw The Force Awakens, I'm like, wow, can they ever live up to those in my childhood? And then you have to remember, well, I just had different glasses on.
Yes.
Is the way I viewed stories, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm hoping, people will enjoy it. I hope it does well at the box office. And it's certainly fun to watch with a crowd of Mary Poppins fans, because there are little winks and nods, in a lot of things, like not just the music, but there's like in matte paintings that they use, or like Karen Daughtris, who's the original Jane. She has a cameo. And then there's Dick Van Dyke, who is utterly fantastic, and our theater broke out in spontaneous applause when he came on screen. So it is fun to watch with a crowd.
I'm excited. It's one of the holiday movies for this December that I haven't seen yet. I've managed to get early viewings of almost every other movie that'll be out around this time. So it's the one I haven't seen yet. And I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't seen this movie yet. So tomorrow or the next day, I'll have seen it probably by the time this is up, and I'm sure I'll tweet about it. So,
oh, good. Yes. I want to know what you think. So yeah, everyone go see it, because it is a fun family film. Definitely.
I think though that especially this time of the year, a lot of the movies that we see, it's weird because now I think Star Wars is a Christmas movie. Just that's so weird, because do you remember back in the day when people were literally losing their mind that it was going to be in December?
Yes, I do. My husband is one of them.
It's like, you can't have a Star Wars movie in December. You'll ruin everything. And now it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's almost part of the holiday, but that might be in part too, because over the years, I don't know, it was always a TNT, holiday weekend, and they run just Star Wars, the whole weekend. And so this is the time of year when you don't, maybe have a couple days off from work and you get to sit around. And so you end up associating movies with Star Wars. And I totally associate with Star Wars with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I can just put them on and do my turkey and, make my stuffing, and I don't have to, if I miss a part, it's okay, but that's all right. So what's your holiday movies?
Oh, okay. So first of all, I love Love Actually. That has become the holiday movie for Richard and I. And we tend to quote that movie throughout the year almost as much as Star Wars movies, because it's so quotable. So we love that one. And then I always love the classic It's a Wonderful Life. That's just, it's just my nostalgic holiday film. So, and Home Alone. Home Alone, I love that one too.
Ooh, that's a good one. And Teresa, although she couldn't be here, she shared with us in the show notes hers. So we're going to definitely give you some of hers too. And she said for hers, it's White Christmas is one of them. And also a movie called The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black. And I hadn't seen that one.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen this? Okay. It's really cute. What it is, it's Kate Winslet lives in England and Cameron Diaz lives in Los Angeles. And what they do is they house swap over the holidays, basically. And so they don't meet each other, but they live in each other's houses. And of course, Kate's is in this cute little cottage somewhere in England. And Cameron Diaz has this mansion along a street that's very secluded in LA, like Beverly Hills somewhere. And they meet each other's neighbors and friends. And it's this really adorable film. And I especially love Kate Winslet when she moves to Los Angeles. She befriends this older gentleman who lives next door, who I believe is a composer, but he's older and he feels like he's out of the business. And so she kind of breathes some life into him. I don't want to tell you what happens with that story, but it's adorable. So that makes me want to watch it again. So I'm going to be watching that later on. Yay.
Do you have any other movie recommendations, so people can like dip their toes in other things?
Ooh, okay. Well, so I just watched, let's see, it's on Netflix, has a new Christmas film out called Christmas Chronicles, and it's with Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. And, some of these movies that come out are kind of cheesy, but this one, it may be a little cheesy, but it's really cute. And the costumes, like Kurt Russell's Santa Claus outfit is to die for. And it's really cute. It has kids. It has 2 kids and they help Santa Claus. And I really recommend it just as a fun holiday watch while you're eating some cookies.
Well, apparently Teresa seconded that.
Ooh.
And I'm going to third that because, and this is actually Tracy Canobio's fault from Lucasfilm. She mentioned it and then I sat down and watched it. And I've watched it again. It's really kind of it's totally corny movie, but I'm in it for the elves and the reindeer. And I'm not going to give anything away on that. Mm-hmm. But you have to watch it to see why the elves and the reindeer are cool. But it's so formulaic in a way. It has this kind of elf vibe to,
yes.
Like that as a holiday movie. And I watched Elf after I watched Christmas Chronicles and watched it again. And I was like, oh yeah, the person who wrote this was totally jonesing on that movie when they wrote this one, but it's not as goofy. Like it's not Will Ferrell, Kurt Russell's. I mean, he's bringing a serious game to Santa Claus in this movie.
And how about that cameo at the end?
Yeah, I can't spoil that either.
Oh no, I won't spoil it. But
yeah, you have to watch the movie. Check it out. It's on Netflix.
Yes.
So I think Netflix, they're all trying to do like their, what do you call them? Like Hallmark style movies, right? Everybody has their, which I'm fine. Cause like I sit down and I have my formula, kind of know what you're going to get from them and watch them. But
exactly.
Some of the other recommendations, if you guys haven't seen Bumblebee yet or Spider-Verse, because some people will have seen it, but not everybody. Everybody's deciding what you're going to see on Christmas Day or for New Year's. Bumblebee is at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is a fabulous movie.
Wow.
I can't even begin to describe how, it's like, yes. It has just this incredible story. It has a hero's journey and a heroine's journey. The director of Kubo and the Two Strings is who directed this one. And Christina Hobson's the screenwriter, and she's a woman of color. And you can just see how they brought their own little, total nostalgia. If you're a G1 fan, that's Generation 1 for people who don't speak Transformer speak. He really simpled down the movie and the way they look. And it totally works. So I don't want to spoil anything in that, but it's totally fun. And then Into the Spider-Verse is Chris Pine. Pine.
Wait, he's in this?
He is Spider-Man. He is.
How did I not know this?
Well, I've been tweeting Pine Nut. You haven't been looking at the hashtag. You can definitely look through my tweets because someone already drew Chris Pine as Spider-Man, like real Chris Pine, because it's obviously animated. The animation is killer. And the story is basically about Miles Morales, who's a Spider-Man, one of the iterations, and all the other Spider people end up in his story. So it just opens up the world for kids to say there's more than one Peter Parker or more than one Spider-Man. So it's crazy. And at the end, oh my gosh, it's Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac, Spider-Man at the end cameo. So Chris Pine and Oscar Isaac play a Spider-Man in this movie. Yeah, and Jake Johnson is the mentor Spider-Man, and he crushes it too. And there's so many like famous people that end up in the movie, and there's all these little like things where they there's my funniest thing I saw was they have like a bank sign up in the background, and he's swinging past it, and it's Trust Us Bank. Like that's the name of the bank. And this is written by Lord and Miller were the original directors on Solo, and Chris Lord is the writer on this movie.
Okay.
And yeah, so they had, and this movie it slays it. I have not seen anybody who didn't like the movie once they saw it. So incredible story. Definitely check it out.
Nice. I love that. Well, we had already talked a little bit about how you watch Star Wars during the holidays, but how else would you incorporate Star Wars into your holidays?
I don't know. I feel like I just wear all my Star Wars clothes because I could be more casual and maybe kind of jazz it up. Even the office, everybody's a little more casual. So, I wear like my Pozu boots and stuff, and people are like, oh, those are really killer. But now I might wear like my one holiday sweater because it gets down to 60. So that's Star Wars-y. I don't have like any, I don't know. Are there, I'm sure there are ugly Star Wars sweaters.
Absolutely there are. I'm trying to think where I saw them. I believe Hot Topic has like a whole bunch online, if you look there. And actually someone who also wears a lot of Star Wars clothes on Christmas is Teresa, who wrote that. And she says that she usually watches Star Wars movies on Christmas Day. And then, we have front yard decor and Christmas tree ornaments, of course, that are Star Wars, and also a lot of kitchen Star Wars things from Williams-Sonoma, which are fun. But in our front yard this year, we have an AT-AT battle because we have our holiday AT-AT from last year, which is your regular AT-AT walker with little Christmas lights on top. And then he is facing now a new ATM6 walker.
Those are the ones from The Last Jedi, right?
Yes, the gorilla walkers. He has a Santa hat on, that gorilla walker. So they're facing each other and kind of in the back of our tableau, which also includes a BB-8 and a droids. We have like Droid to the World, a little blow up. I think we have Kylo Ren too, and a Darth Vader, and also, let's see, some Marvel characters as well. So
wow, you're just like mixing it up. You're just going for the mashup.
It's true. It's true. And in the background, you know how they have those gobo lights? We have Mickey shaped gobo lights in the background.
Wow, that's really a mashup.
It is. Actually, if you go on Google Maps, I guess I won't say my address on the air, but if you go to Google Maps and look up our address, it has our Christmas stuff from last year up.
That's so funny.
It's really,
you know when it was taken.
Yes. So it's really hilarious.
So I always try to, we were talking about your kitchen stuff, which I get to bring out my Star Wars salt and pepper shakers because I usually don't have people over. So it's like the one time of the year where I'm like, oh, I can put that on the table because usually I'm not eating at the table. Shh, don't tell anyone. But I like to do things if I'm having holiday, and instead of calling something, my mom makes like these really cool candy cane cookies, and they're red and white cookie. They're spiraled, so they look like candy canes. So instead of putting that little twist on the end, I just do them straight, and they're red and white. And then so that's my Ahsoka and Darth Vader dual cookies.
That's cute. Or they could just be candy cane lightsabers.
Yeah.
But I like that. That's adorable.
You remember when Finn fights with the traitor stormtrooper in The Force Awakens? I can't think of his number. But when they fight with the stormtrooper weapon things, and he's like, traitor. And then I remember, because it was the holiday, that people took that GIF and they put the candy canes in their hands instead. And I saw that one I was trying to do Finn, so I was looking for a GIF and on Twitter, and that came up. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Well, come this time of year, we always give a lot of gifts. So do you have any like Star Wars gift ideas for people?
give the girl you love or the boy you love who's a Star Wars fan a gift card to whatever geek thing they want. That's my idea. Because you never know what they've been eyeing and they really want. Unless they're like really organized and send you, their wish lists. Mm-hmm. My nephew's like sends his wish list and it's like Ferrari. And
How old is your nephew?
He's freshman in high school.
Okay. My goodness.
Ferrari. I'm like, boy, you're thinking big.
And thinking ahead. He can't drive yet, can he?
No, he can't. But I have to like that he aims high. But yeah, I would definitely say gift cards and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, and I totally took your thing too, didn't I?
That's okay.
Now I'm reading the show notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can read Teresa's idea.
I can. Well, I agree with you. Like Her Universe gift cards, Hot Topic, Box Lunch, like those are some big ones there. Or Think Geek also has a lot of fun, geeky things. But Teresa says that she thinks this year Star Wars Women of the Galaxy is a great gift.
I have this book. I really like it. I've been slowly, it's one of those ones that you can kind of just sit and you don't have to, you can just pick it up and read a page or two every day, look at the pretty art and go for it. I can't believe Teresa didn't suggest this because it's always fun for holidays is sometimes when we were family, we'd sit around and do puzzles, but another cool one would be Star Wars Lego.
Ooh, yeah. Absolutely.
You can make that like a project. So, and there's some like really big ones too. So that's always fun too.
Yeah. I love that. Well, while we're, opening your gifts, you have to eat something. So what are some of your favorite holiday treats?
Just anything that reminds me of my mom's cooking.
Ooh.
She makes a lot of cookies and she just told me she made today, I talked to her. She said she made 20 dozen cookies.
Whoa. Our moms are very alike because my mom said that she has been baking cookies each evening this past week. So yeah, she's also going to send out some cookie packages. It's very fun.
Yeah, I know. They're so good. But it's probably good that she's far away and I can't eat all those cookies. Because
then you won't be in the best shape of your life for 50.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we thought we would maybe include y'all in our fireside chat. So we reached out and asked people to ask us questions.
Yeah, we went in our Facebook group, right? We put this question in our Facebook group. So if you are a member of your Facebook group, you got the opportunity to ask us some questions.
I know. And more importantly, if you want to join the Facebook group, make sure you answer the 3 questions. You don't even have to say you listen to the podcast. You just have to answer the 3 questions. One of them is, do you listen to the podcast? So you don't even have to say yes. You just have to answer. It's so crazy how many people don't answer the questions.
Yeah, I agree. But regardless, we got some fun questions. We had a question from Claire Henry. She says, what was the one thing you wanted for Christmas that you didn't get as a kid, so when you had the money and were grown up, you bought? And I have a great answer to this.
Go, because I have to think about it.
Okay. My answer is, so when I was growing up, all my friends had Nintendo consoles. They had Nintendo, they had Sega, they had whatever. And the console that we had was an Atari. And we never updated it. My parents were like, nope, we're not getting gaming stuff. And in hindsight, they saved a lot of money. But so I would only be able to play games when my friends, I'd go to their houses. So when I got old enough and had my own place, well, I bought myself a gaming system, and it was the Nintendo Wii, and I was so excited to have Nintendo. I felt like very much such a grown-up buying games.
Well, Teresa went with the mindset that she never got a Power Wheels, but she also never got one as an adult. So maybe she's saying something to the universe. The one thing that I always wanted when I was a kid, I wished every Christmas for that moment that you see. You know, it's like a television moment where you get your pony, and I always was waiting for the pony to be in the living room, and it never happened. So I got to be an adult, and I bought myself one, and then another and another. So, yep, that's what I did.
Oh, wow. Fulfilling our childhood fantasies.
And well, you know, and the crazy thing, my parents took me to see the Lipizzan Stallions when I was 2 years old. And my mother said from that day forward, every toy they handed me, I handed back and said, horsey.
What kind of stallion did you say?
The Lipizzan Stallions. They're the Vienna riding school.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they do all the kind of fancy dance, though. They're the white horses that do the dancing.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to look this up.
So that was it. That's it. I wanted a horse and everything. So I got like Breyer models, if y'all have seen any of those, but that's what I got was little horses. And then I got lessons, a package of lessons as a like 13-year-old. And then everything was, I'll babysit so I can have money to have another lesson. So and then I was like, I guess I better get a degree and go to college so I can pay for these things.
Wow. That's so funny. Like as kids, how we do things like that. Well, I had a question for us, which I wrote in our Facebook group here. And my question is, what is your favorite thing to do when a Star Wars movie does not fall during the holiday season like it has been for the past 3 years?
Teresa had a really obvious answer, and it's one that I would not be doing, and that is watch Harry Potter.
You should be doing it, though. Now is the season. You said after the movie came out that you would read the books. Have you read any of them?
No, I haven't. I was going to, and then Johnny Depp, and I just so disappointed in Harry Potter.
Well, okay, so that movie is not a measure. I'm very sad that was your first like Harry Potter foray.
No,
because
I didn't even go. I won't even partake of Johnny Depp anymore. Just
okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, now I just don't feel like I should exert myself. So maybe one day. I do when it's on, like now, you know, it's just like TBS or whatever. One of them runs Harry Potter all the time, or Freeform, maybe, I don't know, one of them. And I will watch parts of it. Like, I think I've seen the chess scene when they're moving out. I don't even know what movie that's from. I've probably seen that 20 times.
That's
that
the first
one scene.
Okay.
Isn't it weird that you could not see all the movies, but you could see like one scene over and over again in a movie? And
it makes sense. I think I've seen like Gremlins a bunch of times, like, but not the beginning, you know, stuff like that.
It's like, oh, that's how that movie started.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I get it. I get it. Well, let's see. My favorite thing to do. Well, what's interesting is we've been so bombarded the past 3 years because our work ramps up during the holidays, as well as, you know, Star Wars and press and stuff. So this year it's actually been kind of nice and chill. And we've been able to, while we have work every day, in the evenings, we're not like running around or writing articles. So it's really fun. We've been able to watch a lot of Christmas movies like the Christmas Chronicles and Home Alone and things like that. So I love the Christmas season, and it's nice to get back to that, because when a Star Wars movie is happening, it's like everything ramps up to that film. And then Christmas just seems like, just something that happens after it. It's not a big deal. And I don't know. It's hard to explain, but that's how it's felt to me. Whereas now I can really, really celebrate Christmas. So I like it.
My last two office holiday parties, which is like one of those things that you're sort of obligated to go to in life, is to attend those events. And the last two, I had to leave to get on a plane overnight.
Whoa.
To get to a press junket for Star Wars. So I remember the first time I left the office party, I drove up, it was pouring rain. I drove to Orlando to get on a, like 5 a.m. flight to get to LA. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then get to the junket by noon.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you're like in this kind of sugar rush state where you've just like, sat there and seen like all these amazing toys and gazillion things that are coming out with the movie, and you see all the stars talk about it and you're so excited and you write about it and then you're like, whew, okay. And by the time Christmas came, I was like, I just don't want to do anything.
I hear you. So this has been really nice.
It has been really nice. And, we talked about at the beginning, Star Wars feels like Christmas now, and that's a good thing and maybe a bad thing sometimes when you're definitely covering it and doing that kind of mad dash. And next year may be really, really crazy because I know that Disney World's Galaxy's Edge is going to open late winter, which is probably December time.
Oh my goodness.
We're going to have the movie coming out, and oh my gosh, it's going to be crazy. So anyway, enjoying the peace and quiet.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, we have a similar question from both Ryan Stampley and Heather Hunt, and they ask, do we have any unusual or unique holiday traditions? So let's see. Do you have anything that you do? Well, here, let's share Teresa's. She likes to open pajamas on Christmas Eve and watch White Christmas. That doesn't seem very unusual, but it's unique for her family. And I know for Richard and I, because things are so crazy and busy leading up to Christmas, that we don't buy a lot of presents for each other, and we don't have much to open on Christmas morning. So we go shopping together on December 26th, and we have a ball because we buy everything. It's so much fun.
Just save all your money. Oh, look at all the deals.
I know. We have deals and we buy what we want, and it's really fun because every other time of year when we go out shopping, you use restraint for things, but not that day.
It's weird for me because I grew up in a really devout Catholic family, and Christmas was such a big deal. And I'm not a practitioner of that anymore. And so it's one of those things where it's kind of muddled up that there's all this nostalgia and memory of things to do, but I don't feel like I have to get wrapped up in the day.
Okay.
And I try to remember what that day is about, which is definitely trying to give to other people too.
Yes.
So it's so weird. We don't really during December, because there are good deals, I'll get stuff, or my mom will she'll be like, oh, she has to send me stuff. But when it comes, I open it and I'm like, hey, mommy, thanks for she gave me a Star Wars quilt. And I'm like, thanks for the quilt. And she's like, but you're not supposed to open it yet.
Oh, you were supposed to wait till Christmas?
Yeah. So, but I do. I just open stuff. And then I'm like, yay, I get to enjoy it. But no, actually, so now Christmas Day is just really quiet. It's like a really quiet day where hopefully nothing happens. There's no drama, no emergencies. Nobody from work is going to call. And hopefully that will be the day goes.
Nice.
My puppy Dax is currently sleeping and he's dreaming and he's running after something.
Oh my goodness.
In his dreams. It's the cutest thing. Usually I'm telling him not to bark at things, but right now he's like, I'm chasing a bunny. Oh yeah, you getting a bunny?
No, don't chase a bunny.
If I say that, his little mouth moves like he's barking at it.
That's so mean.
Dax, are you gonna get the bunny?
Not the bunny. Why would you get the bunny? That's bad. Okay. All right. So we have one fun question here. And Amanda Reynolds, we're going to wrap it up with Amanda Reynolds' question. And she asks, what would you get for Christmas and pick one, Luke, Obi-Wan, Kylo, Anakin, Leia, Poe, Padme, Han, Ezra, Ahsoka, Rey, or any other Star Wars character? What would you get? So Trisha, what would you get for Poe?
I feel like that's a fanfic that you shouldn't read at work.
Would you get Poe some mistletoe? It rhymes.
Yeah, there's a song, "Mistletoe for Poe."
Oh, that's cute.
Poor Oscar Isaac. He did an interview recently where he was talking about the character he played in X-Men and how he was so miserable playing it. And I'm like, yeah, no, we could tell. And I don't think he just said that nobody told him he was going to be like in this 20-pound suit that you had to like cake on. And then it was so hot. And then you had to go, and he couldn't talk to anybody. And he had to go sit in a room that was super cooled. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, I would think that definitely if you're going to be playing a blue guy, you don't want to be doing that unless you're really devoted to your craft.
Yeah.
And he is devoted to his craft. He's a Juilliard trained actor, but I just don't know. Maybe if you want to be the blue guy,
no,
in an X-Men movie. So, who I would get a present for, is Rey.
Okay,
and I would give her a family.
Oh, well, nothing I say is going to measure up now. But that's wonderful. I love that. Oh, let me see. So what comes to mind is I would give Han a pair of pants. I don't know. And also, you know what? You know what I would do? I would give Leia a book of hairstyles. And she could try them on one by one. I think that would be fun.
She probably would like that. What do you think that she would have got from her mom and dad?
Like maybe combs or something. Like fancy ones you can add to your hair. That's a very good question. Something Alderanian, like something that is from her home planet. Not sure what that would be, but
I feel like Bale would give her something from Naboo.
Oh.
And not like just say, oh, this is something from Naboo, and he wouldn't like tell her why he's given her something from Naboo. So it would have like special kind of memories from a holiday that just, he would, because he can't tell her. But anyway, that's really random.
No, that's
I always
really
think
cool.
Obi-Wan Kenobi needs more holiday gifts because he just looks sad in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we could get him maybe some desert shoes. Do they have, like they have snowshoes? Do they have like sand shoes? I think he needs some of those.
He needs some little Jawas to just come by on Christmas Eve and sing some songs outside his hut.
Well, Obi-Wan being sad, I mean, Kylo Ren, my goodness, that boy has some issues.
Yeah, he like hacked down the Christmas tree with his red lightsaber.
I was gonna say, yeah, you look at him the wrong way and he's gonna, I don't think I'd want a carol for Kylo. No carols for Kylo.
Well, maybe that was the problem. He didn't get enough caroling when he was younger. I don't know. How about Yoda? What would you get him?
He needs small things. I'd get him a blanket.
He'd do that. Now, there's one last character.
Okay.
And it's Darth Vader.
Oh.
What are you going to get Darth Vader?
Well, is he Anakin at this point or Darth Vader? I guess he's Darth Vader. I would get him something that would help him polish up his armor, I guess.
Well, I know what Darth Vader did because I've seen Victoria Mahoney's mood board.
Okay.
And she's the director who's doing the second union directing for episode 9.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, there was a tweet that Ava DuVernay, who's her friend and director, was at her office, and she has this mood board behind. It's like her inspiration board. And there's a shot of Darth Vader in his pink coat that's on her board. So I think Darth Vader just wants gift certificates so he can buy his, really cool hipster clothes he can put on.
I love it. And maybe he needs some, pink fuzzy slippers for when he's around his chambers.
It was the, Anakin made bad choices and went to the dark side, but it was the fact that he had to wear all black, and it was the Empire's wardrobe that really got him down. And if he had had more pink coats, he would have come around eventually. I have to believe that.
I agree with you. I agree. All right. We really can't go anywhere else from there.
We can't. Rey needs a family, and Vader's buying himself pink coats.
Nice. All right. Well, that is the end of our show, our lovely holiday fireside chat episode. So in the meantime, until next year, oh my goodness, you can visit us over at fangirlsgoingrogue.com. We are also on Instagram and on Twitter as at FGGoingRogue. And Trisha, you are at Fangirl Cantina. Teresa is at Ice Cold Penguin. I am at Jedi Tink. And Sandra is at Geek Chic 9.
You can email us, contact@fangirlsgoingrogue.com. Facebook, just type Fangirls Going Rogue, and Tumblr, fangirlsgoingrogue.tumblr.com.
And you can leave us a voicemail. We are 33121 Ewoks. And you can also join our Facebook group so you can ask us fun questions like we answered today. And you can do that by searching Facebook for Fangirls Going Rogue and then requesting to join and answer the questions that pop up.
And please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. We need your reviews so more people find us.
So until next time, everyone, dun 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 dun. Yub.
Yep.
Yub.
Yep.
And happy holidays!